Yeah. We most certainly can.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is the We Missed You podcast. Just kidding.
Oh, right. There was no episode last time.
Lucy, you got some explaining to do.
Yeah.
So, who are we? We are collectively the Let's Have a Real Conversation podcast. It's also weird looking up there. I guess I should just look straight. We are the Let's Have a Real Conversation podcast featuring
Dashing D.
And I am JD, aka He Who Pods. And so, we have been having a lot of problems with tech. And I don't even know where to look because our whole setup is different. And so, this might look a little different. This might look a little weird. Bear with us, please, because we are making changes to try to provide a better experience for you visually. Hopefully, audio is just as pristine as it usually is. And so, we've been having tech issues. That's why we were not here last pod. But we've got a lot of stuff coming for you guys. So, stay tuned, stay patient, stay with us. And on that note, let's get this shit started.
A lot of stuff to talk about.
The lightning round.
Right. So.
We should set like a 10-minute timer.
I know, right? Use my hourglass.
You know what I'm saying?
But.
Where you want to start?
That's what I'm trying to figure.
You know what I'm saying? Where you want to go? Where you want to go?
Gosh,
you want me to pick?
Much. Sure.
The writing strike is over.
Oh, that's a good one. Let's start there.
Let's start backwards. We always start with music. Put that in the back burner.
Yes, the writer's strike has ended.
The writer's strike is finally over.
Yep.
There's some really interesting things that have changed.
Yeah.
But it's important that we remember that there's still plenty of strike happening. Because SAG-AFTRA?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I was going to say it wrong. Yeah. SAG-AFTRA is still striking. Who the hell is that?
The actors.
That's the actors. And so the writers have reached an agreement with the rest of the entertainment industry, and they got some of the things they wanted. And so should we zip through those quickly, or you want to just move on?
If you have the bullet points.
I just think the two most important ones are they're getting paid better for streaming, including bonuses based on performance in a certain time frame and even over time. And the other thing I think is important is they feel they addressed and settled on a good place when it comes to AI.
That was a big one.
And that was a big one. Yeah. And so, to me, those are the two biggest ones because those are the two that kind of really affected them the most.
Right.
Besides the regular stuff that needed to just be upgraded, right? Yeah. Like, everybody needs more pay. Yeah. You want to make sure your health coverage is still there, whatever, Those things are kind of just normal contractual renewal things. But AI and streaming did not exist previously, and they definitely were not the boom that they are today.
Yeah.
And so today, everything is streaming. Today, more and more stuff is AI incorporated or collaborative with AI, collaborative with AI. Y'all know what I'm saying, man. Today, more shit is happening with AI, and we see every day AI is becoming more and more part of everyday life, job replacement, job pairing, etc. And so they addressed AI and their concerns with AI, and so those are the two biggies. I'm very happy that has happened. My hope is that this also happens with SAG-AFTRA / the actors.
Yeah. And I think it's important to note, I know you mentioned an increase in pay, and it's important to note that was like one of the things that they that people talked about a lot, because even during the strike, not being able to work, a lot of people were, turning to other ways to make money. And I think that really spoke to the fact that they weren't making enough money to begin with. A lot of people talked about definitely living paycheck to paycheck. And, when you think about the disparity between what an actor might make on a project and what a writer is making on a project, it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
It's a big gap.
It's a huge gap. Obviously, they are not the talent that is weighted a little bit differently when it comes to how they get paid, but
they still need a fair wage.
Right. That's the point. That they still need a fair wage. They still need a livable wage. I mean, we're talking about people who write for TV and movies. So many of them are, if not most of them, are living in the Los Angeles area. Los Angeles is not cheap to live. So I think it's important to note that the deal over the next 3 years, they will have they will get a 12.5% increase in pay, and it's gradual. The first 5%, the first 5% is available to them as the deal has been ratified or is being ratified.
2024.
And then in the future, I don't know why I can't talk. And then in the next 2 years, they will get 2 more increases. So big deal, very important, and also sad news. Speaking of the writer's strike, last episode we talked about Winning Time.
Oh, yeah.
And how, that was one of the shows that I was saying people should watch to try to keep it alive. And unfortunately, in the last few weeks, we did find out that Winning Time was canceled.
Winning Time has been canceled, and that directly correlates with the new contract in one way, which you said, and I got to keep giving you your props. You said, hey, it's probably more important to stream it now than ever before. And now that is in the contract. And Winning Time didn't make the cut. They are scrapped after season 2. But it is in writing now that based on streaming numbers, based on performance, the streaming companies will be giving the numbers, and of course NDAs were signed and all that, but they'll be giving the information to the writers and the union so they can know what they're supposed to be paid and how payment will be happening. So the more you watch your shows, the more you watch stuff you like, the more people will benefit financially now.
Yeah, absolutely. So just really important to point that out because it affected all of us. I mean, us in the sense that their, programming is starting to become limited, but it was a big deal. It was that far reaching, and it's not just the writers. This strike affected a lot of people. It affected people who clean. It affected people who provide food services. Anybody who is on a set.
It affected the whole industry.
It affected the entire industry. So this is really important that people are able to get back to work. And boy, did they get back to work. Because I don't know about you, but when I go on social media now, there are so many ads for movies and TV shows that are coming out, which is great. And it's exciting because we didn't have that for a long time. And I guess you notice that they weren't there.
Right.
But I think now that there's an influx of them, it's like, wow, okay, there were a lot of things that we were missing out on. I also know that some actors have been given permission now that the writers are back. Some actors have been given permission to promote certain projects.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you might see them on like some of the daytime talk shows and things like that. They can promote certain things, I think, not everything.
So better follow the rules and don't be like
Drew Barrymore.
Yes.
I don't know why they don't like that lady, but
next topic.
Woo.
That is none of our black business.
You're right.
We gotta stay away from the white chicks.
So speaking of new movies that are coming out, there is a Leo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro. You had me at Robert De Niro, by the way. Flowers. Oh, excuse me. Killers.
It's not the name, but okay.
What is wrong with me? Killers of the Flower Moon. I don't even really know what it's about. I just know that I saw Robert De Niro and said, I think I'll go see that.
The trailer looks good.
It does look good.
It's about, when the nation is rising with coal and gold. It's like, and maybe I'm wrong, I didn't read the book. It's a number one selling book. That's how a lot of the movies are today. And so people are rushing to towns to get, involved and get money. But Leonardo DiCaprio's character falls in love with a Native American. And beef ensues. And so, that's the thing. It seems when he arrives, he is a darling. He is adored by Robert De Niro, who's clearly some kind of important person in the town.
I mean, he would have to be.
Right. And so he's the top dog, and he's very happy when he sees Leo in the trailer. He's like, "Oh man, Dash, I'm so glad you made it. You've got such a great reputation." But then Leo's character goes and marries a Native American. So are we still calling them Native Americans?
I think they're indigenous people now.
Because, I be trying to be politically correct on this pod, but then, it's hard not to offend people when you pod.
I think they're indigenous people.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's really the proper term, because it means the people who were here first, right? And so that's what happens. He marries an indigenous woman, and beef ensues, because they're trying to get rid of the indigenous people, of course. And, yeah. But that's not the real problem.
I don't even remember that being the trailer. I know that I saw the trailer and I remember going, oh my gosh, I want to see this.
Yeah.
But I can't even, it was so long ago.
Well,
Anyway.
Speaking of long, the problem is they have made it clear to us that the running time, the length of this film is 3.5 hours. Yes, folks, that is 3 plus 1/2 hours.
3 hours and 26 minutes.
3.5 hours.
Which is 4 hours of your time because there's about 30 minutes of previews.
First of all, you still got to get to the theater.
Yeah.
And travel back home. And maybe for some of you that's close. Awesome. Spectacular. But even if it's close, yeah, Dash is absolutely correct. We're talking 4 hours in a theater.
I mean, I figured that maybe they figured,
When you get up, your ass will remain in the chair.
Right. But
It should be called Children of, what is it? Of the Flower, Killers of the Flower Moon?
Yeah.
It's Killers of the Fat Asses.
Oh my gosh. All right.
We're going to all need BBLs after this movie.
Like Drake.
And then Drake will love us.
Right. Yeah.
It's too long. I'm not going to the theaters to watch it.
Yeah.
Martin Scorsese has lost his damn mind if he thinks that I am going to sit my black ass in a theater for 4 hours.
I most certainly will watch it at home, but I'm with you. I don't know that I want to go to the theater.
It's way too long. Come on,
hours.
4 hours?
Yeah.
Most movies don't need to be 3 hours. 3.5 hours?
Right.
Fam. And did you see what he said?
What?
Oh, that there's already talks of a director's cut that's like 7 hours long.
Oh.
What? Why?
How long was Titanic? Do you remember?
Too long.
Wasn't Titanic super long too? But
Titanic
that was unheard of when
Titanic
that came out?
was close to 3 hours, but it was under 3 hours.
Okay. Because
But I'm wrong. I don't exactly,
I just remember it being super long, and it was like a kind of a big deal that it was so long because during that time it came out in 1997.
I'm about to say it was also the 90s and
nobody
nobody
was
was
making.
I mean, you had to be like The Godfather or some fly crazy long move. Like you had to be doing fly shit to be 3 hours.
It was 3 hours and 14 minutes.
You see, and that's why it was too long.
Yeah.
Just for niggas to be. Never mind.
No, do tell.
Just for a man to be left, dying on a on a slab of wood.
Yeah. What is that song that
Celine
song that
Dion?
went viral on TikTok? No.
Oh.
You could keep that nigga. That was what Rose said. Keep him. Okay,
Just never
keep
understood.
him.
I got if that was your love of your life, if y'all was rocking out for forever, you save her and sacrifice yourself. Totally get that. But he met that bitch on the boat.
He did meet her on the boat.
Yesterday.
Yep. Love at first sight.
Nah, I'm walking by again. Fuck that.
so
I'm dying for you. I met you yesterday.
I mean, love at first sight.
Kicked her right off the fucking slab.
Love at first sight. I mean, love will make people.
Listen,
do
James
stupid
Cameron
things.
is the man. Martin Scorsese, you lost your mind. I'll watch it at home in pieces, in segments. 15 minutes here, 20 minutes
my
there.
Gosh, all right.
3 hours and a
but you're-
half?
But you're saying 15 minutes here, 30 minutes
It
there.
depends on the movie. Martin Scorsese put out The Irishman. That was 3 hours. It didn't need to be. I had to take breaks. I was like, what is this? This is still going?
There's nothing wrong.
Pause.
There's nothing wrong with taking a break. I just feel like if you could watch a movie that's an hour and a half, you could watch it in 2 sittings.
It depends on how good the film is. Yes, you are correct. If the movie is good enough, I can watch it in 3.5 hours straight. Just take little potty breaks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go pay the water bill, come right back.
Right.
Go pop another microwave popcorn and come right back. But
Pop, pop, pop.
that will depend on how good the movie is.
Yes. Yes. Well, there's some other movies that are, out there, doing the things in the theaters. Saw 10. 10? There were 10. There's been 10 of those?
I didn't even know that. And then I knew another Saw was coming, and I already had the question I'm going to ask in a moment. But then I saw the X. And I was like, oh, Saw X. That's interesting. Wait, does that mean Saw 10? I don't even remember there being that many. There were definitely 6. Mm-hmm. And then it was like Saw 3D, the final Saw. No, really, this is the last Saw. And then none came out for years and years. And then that movie with Chris Rock came out last year or 2 years ago, whatever, Jigsaw or something. But apparently there are 10 Saw movies, and I'm a fan of Saw, but why? Why do we need 10 of anything?
I saw a clip from Saw.
You should preface and let people know that.
I've never seen Saw before, and I don't like scary movies. Now, it's not to say I will never watch a scary movie. I make allowances, for people if they like, oh, come watch this movie with me. Fine, whatever.
Exceptions?
That's what I meant to say.
Oh, I was like, you be paying people to watch movies?
I mean, but
Pay me to watch movies.
all right. So, yeah, like I give grace to scary movies sometimes just because some people like them and
sometimes you want to purge.
Sure. So I'm open to it. I'm usually open to watching most things. But I saw a clip from Saw where they had this guy like attached to
As soon as you went like this, I already knew.
attached to this machine. And the machine was like doing things and oh my gosh. Oh, the sounds.
And then one arm was gone.
That's the thing.
And then it's my other arm.
Stop. The thing that's crazy about this is that my instinct always tells me, okay, well, look away and you'll be fine. Like, you just can look away for a couple of minutes.
Nope, not with Saw.
With Saw, it's also a very auditory experience. Because everything that you can't see, if you close your eyes, you can hear every moment of it.
Yes.
Which I think is genius. And
yes.
I've never seen one of these films. But I would imagine that it is a great experience if you do love that type of thing, because of the fact that they take their time to make sure that the audio part of it is immersive. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was like squirming in my seat, and then I'm like, well, I might as well watch, because
might as well. You're hearing everything.
Because you're hearing everything.
Or every snap, crackle, and pop.
And I feel like to hear is to see. Like, at the point where you can hear it in that much detail, you basically can imagine what's happening. You don't even need the visual to really understand what's going on, because you can hear it.
Yes. Saw.
It heightens your senses.
Yes. Saw was, I don't know about the last couple, I didn't watch them, but Saw was the equivalent of hardcore pornography for horror. There's even a term, I can't remember, it's like gore or something, but their whole thing is less scary, more just extremely crazy things. That's like, oh, you like when someone's arm gets chopped off and you see the blood? Oh, okay, we got you. Crank it up to 10.
And then you're hearing all the blood spurt out of this person's body.
Yeah. And so that's what the films are great at. They have mastered, oh, okay, we're going to keep inventing and showing you crazy, weird, what's the word I want to use? Contraptions. And so the crazy contraptions in crazy time constraints with little puzzles you got to figure out, all combined. It's like, you want to save your life? Cool. But you got to do this crazy thing, and you got until the timer runs out.
Nuts.
Yeah. But I don't know, why we need a 10?
I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen the other 9.
I don't know.
So.
And you know what else I don't know why we have?
What?
Expendables 4. Why?
I don't know.
Why is it that there's a 4th Expendables? The whole idea was that they're garbage. You can get rid of them. They're not important. They are like the truck outside making all the noise, just to be picked up, tossed, and kept moving. And they still around. A bunch of them. In fact, now they've added more people, and I'm glad 50 Cent is making money on and off the screen. But I mean, why? I blame Fast and Furious.
Oh yeah, I mean, they are to blame, aren't they? Because they're on number 10 too, or technically 11, right? Because I know this because I know someone who has been watching all of the movies.
More power to them.
I was like, don't ever judge me for watching all of Marvel within like several months' time, because you're watching all of the Fast and Furious films, but it's actually, technically, it's 11 because Hobbs and Shaw is a part of the franchise.
Yes, they are.
So, yeah.
But that's a false equivalent, though. I gotta be honest.
Yes, it is.
There's like 8 million Marvel things.
I was trying to move.
I'm on your side, though.
I was trying to move past it.
I'm on your side.
I was trying to move past
F the Fs. You know what I'm saying?
Right, I don't care about that. I just feel like, in terms of,
we all like what we like.
It's a false equivalent. However, in terms of, people would be like, "Oh my gosh, you watched it!" Like, kind of that cult culture, right? Where Fast and Furious, it definitely has a cult following.
Yes.
Right? Marvel, while, I could say that, like, Marvel is probably the everyman of, like, movies at this point, there's still a cult following, right?
Yes,
because
of course.
it comes from comic book culture. So that's what I mean when I compare them. I just think that they're niche, and you have your niche and I have mine, is all I'm trying to say. Right. So
there's a comedian I like. His name is, what's his name? He's a
I don't know.
Hold on now.
I don't know what his name is.
I can see him, but I'm just not really good at names.
Oh, okay.
His name is Jim Gaffigan. Jim Gaffigan says, people like to judge you when you go to McDonald's, but everyone's got their own McDonald's.
That's true.
He says, maybe you don't walk in and order a Big Mac, but if every week you're at the newsstand getting People magazine,
that's your McDonald's.
That's your McDonald's.
That's fair. I dig that.
He even joked, if you care about what's happening with the royal family,
that's your McDonald's.
He said that one's even worse. Because that's Burger King. That's his joke, not mine. That's his joke, not mine. That's what he said.
But I see what he did.
He said the people over there care about the princes and royal family. You're even worse than us.
Yeah.
Because we've got McDonald's. But that's not even our country.
Right.
That's Burger King. That's his joke. Anyway, we can move on.
So the VMAs happened. Let's
They did.
I mean, it happened and people have discussed it and whatever, and we don't need to get too deep into it. I just wanted to make a couple key points. The first one is that Nicki Minaj was the MC of the event.
Next point.
That's what you do.
Bullet points, man. Come on, work with me.
You. Yeah.
Chris, you see what I be saying, Chris? You understand?
Nicki Minaj was the MC. Because there were no writers
what
at
else
the
would
time.
this be?
All right.
I just wanted what else? You said a couple points. I immediately pointed right at the camera. Went boop.
I thought maybe you would have something to say about it. So I
was trying to alley, you know what I'm saying? Put it right there by the rim. You
it.
just looked at the ball and let it go right out of bounds.
So Nicki was the MC. She
was the host, and she was the only
host because there was a writer's strike. So they didn't call her the host. They called her the MC. She didn't have a script.
Right.
All right.
She didn't have a script. She was just freestyling.
Yeah.
You believe that?
No.
Okay, thanks. That's all I wanted to know. That's why I had to turn into Scooby-Doo just now.
I mean, Saweetie was reading from a teleprompter on the red carpet. So
I hear that.
I don't want to talk about that.
I hear that.
I know that's right.
Oh, that's what she said. I know that's right.
I know that's right.
Nicki was the host.
Nicki
I'm sorry.
was the MC.
Yo, whatever, man. She hosted
Nicki
the shit.
performed.
Let's keep it real.
They did a hip hop 50.
That's what I was about to say. Right. She was the only woman.
She was the only woman we think that got negotiated in her deal
Had
with
to be in her deal
because how she could end up being the only woman for hip hop 50
when there was hip hop women in the crowd.
Right. So,
even if you wanted to say, hey, fuck everybody who's under 30.
Yeah.
There was still a bunch of 30 and under people.
And then she made sure she performed, her music that points out that, all you bitches is my son. Sons. So, I mean, whatever. That's fine. Diddy also won an award. He won the Global Icon Award.
Say, yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't have a lot. I didn't actually watch the VMAs.
Okay.
So I don't have a whole lot to say about it. I just wanted to call out that he won that award, and that Nicki was emceeing, and I know Nicki is getting ready, to release music. I don't know exactly when, but I know two things. I know that one of the songs that she performed is from Pink Friday 2.
Okay.
And she's been doing Queen Radio.
Oh, she's back?
Yeah.
It's back, rather?
Well, at least she's done it at least once. I don't know if
okay.
I don't know because back could be,
That's true.
she could have been on 5 nights in a row, or she was on once and we haven't heard from her since then. I'm not really sure.
Got it.
But I do know that she did.
So she's active, is what you're saying.
Yeah, she's gearing up. She's gearing up for her album to release. I don't know when that will be, but I'm assuming it's gonna be soon. So. Yeah, I just wanted to point that out about Nicki and Diddy. Diddy's album came out, so figured it was a good thing to point out that he won that award.
Agreed.
And on that note, Diddy's album came out.
Yes, it did.
The Love. What is it called?
It's called Love Off the Grid.
Love Off the Grid.
That's what it's called. I'm sorry. What's
it's
going
an
on
R&B album.
Oh, I thought something was going on over there. You know, you look like you needed some dresses to caress.
I look that way because I just feel like you sounded very exacerbated by just.
I just think right now, I have no problem getting right to the shit. I think right now in music, people are selling hype. And that's not new. Let's be clear.
Right.
People have been selling hype since hype existed, probably. Selling hype is not new.
No.
But I think right now there's so much hype being sold that we're forgetting about the expectations we're setting for consumers. I remember when we were teenagers, every time an album came out, a rapper would say the same default shit. What was that? Yo, man, you know, I don't even want to really say this, but this might be the best project I've worked. This might be the best album I've ever put out. You know, they was lying to us like Apple every year. You know what I'm saying? Y'all seen the real.
All right.
So, you ain't see it?
Neither here nor there.
No, it is exactly what they did. That's why I compare it. Apple came out and was like, we building the best iPhone we've ever built or some shit like that. The most beautiful phone we've ever built or some shit. Whatever. They kept saying the same thing for 14 years.
They
That's
say
the
that
point.
every year. But they also told us they revealed a long time ago that they don't give us everything all at once. So.
But they're saying the same line, and that's what rappers did. When we were teenagers, it didn't matter who it was. Ludacris, Jay-Z, Nas. I mean, the list goes on. Everybody would get on 106 in Park or what was the MTV joint? With you could see out the window. TRL. They would all say the same thing. Yo, you know, I don't even know if I should say this, but this might be my best album ever. This I mean, I really put a lot into this one.
Yeah.
And that sets an expectation. And you notice people don't really say that anymore because they had to stop saying those lies. Right. It was just marketing. And I think today, marketing is what really is making people listen to music. And I don't think the artists, these huge artists like Diddy and Drake, who we're going to talk about in a bit, I don't think they really care about meeting these expectations that they're setting.
Right.
So I think the album is good. But what was the marketing for this album? For over a year, maybe over 2 years, I don't even know how long. Do you remember how long they were marketing this?
I don't remember how long.
It was a long time. For over a year, let's just say a year, I don't want to OD, but for at least a year, we were being told two things. Or rather, just two things have been marketed to us by Diddy.
Yeah.
Love, Puff, Sean, whatever we calling them today.
Right.
The first thing was R&B is dead.
Yeah, he beat that horse to death.
And there was a lot of controversy behind it. I think that was a great marketing technique. Because everybody in the culture, whether you were an R&B artist or not, was buzzing about it.
Yep.
Nah, how could you say that when this person is out? Or, yo, but this person this and this person that. Great marketing, no problem. The second thing was, same time frame, over a year, was that my R&B album is going to bring back real R&B.
Yes.
Diddy basically said, this is dead and I will resurrect it.
Yes.
That's a high-ass bar.
Yes.
And also, he never said this is a collaborative album. And so I was very confused because he also launched a brand new record label, Love Records. This is not Bad Boy. This is Love Records. And this would be the first, allegedly, the first project out on Love Records. We later learned it's not, because his artist Jossie, she has a EP or album out on Love Records. However, we come to find out when it finally got released, after much buzz, after much promotion, after much marketing, this is an R&B album.
Yes.
But it's not Diddy's R&B album.
Right.
Diddy's not singing. Which, I'll be honest, I'm glad he's not singing, because I was a little concerned that Diddy's album where he is singing is going to save R&B. I was like, man, Drake must have really inspired him. You know, with the harmonizing. Maybe Drake and Future are in the lab with him heavy. They got him working on the auto-tunes. I don't know.
I'm just saying you could do better.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe he was going to come on and start singing.
Tell me, have you heard that lately?
You know what I'm saying? The real king of R&B, ladies and gentlemen, Dash. Give it up, y'all.
I've been telling y'all for almost 2 years.
Since before Diddy said R&B was dead.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Been telling y'all for almost 2 years that I am the real king of R&B, and put some respect on my name.
Put some respect on it.
That's all I'm saying.
That's it. And so we come to find out this is a collab album.
Right.
This was basically, and you said this off pod. I'm going to just give you your props. I think you made a great comparison when you said it's Diddy's DJ Khaled album.
Yes.
That was a great comparison. You said it off pod. I'm going to bring it to the pod. You can elaborate when you're ready, but I think you hit it right on the head. Boop.
Boop, boop, beep, doop.
Holler. And that's what it was. It's a collaborative album.
Which you know, I want to give that talent some props, right? Because I think that
I don't know where you're going. That's why I'm just anticipating.
Because I think that
anticipating. No, I'm just listening.
I think that it is a skill to be able to put together an album like that. That is not just one artist. It is not necessarily your voice.
I agree.
I think that, you know, for what it's worth, I know that I, you know, said that I don't always love DJ Khaled's albums, but I think I said it in that same conversation that it is skillful what he does.
Yes.
And if you know DJ Khaled's history, I don't want to make this about him, but if you know his history, and I think we could have the same conversation about Diddy.
Absolutely.
If you know their history and you know their involvement in music over time, something like this makes sense. And something like this, or their history, is why they are skilled to do things like this. Everybody can't put together a compilation album. Some people have tried to put together compilation albums as their first ever thing that they did musically, which
this is true.
Which is, I think, ambitious, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I just think that
it's ballsy.
It's ballsy. These are people who have been in the music industry in whatever way they've been in it. DJ Khaled obviously was a DJ first. I'm not from Florida. I'm not from the Miami area, so I didn't actually hear DJ Khaled on the radio. But I have done my research on him.
I mean, he's been around.
Right, and I know...
Big Pun shouted him out on records.
Right, and I know how important, you know, picking music and being able to have that ear and being able to say, like he talks about, you know, telling the station director at the radio station he worked at, like, we gotta play this, like, this is important, you know, during a time when music was being hand selected for radio. Right. So I think it takes a big skill. Same thing with Diddy. I think it takes a huge skill. He has worked with tons of artists at this point. He's very well rounded in the sense that he has been involved with the music. Like, you actually hear him on the music. He's found people who, I mean, all projects weren't successful because we know that Usher would move on to go to someone else, but he has had his hand in all sides of the music process. So I think it's really exciting to hear when Diddy says that he has music for us, because I think that he has a good ear for good music.
He's got a great ear.
Yeah. So the compilation wasn't surprising to me, because I didn't want what you thought it was.
I was nervous. I felt like, okay, listen, I don't know Diddy to be a singer. I mean, we all heard Senorita. You know what I mean? Mami Ben Aquí.
I remember.
I said, I don't know if he's going to be able to do a whole album of that. And I don't know if that's going to bring back R&B. Which ain't dead, by the way. But...
Oh, and R&B never died.
That's why I was nervous.
Let's be clear.
And so I was relieved
like
when I realized...
Lennox,
the list goes on.
Like we could...
Tank's still around.
Tank is very much around. Tyrese and his weird ass is around. Like
Mario dropped new music. I mean,
Sammy
the list
still
goes
be
on.
dropping music. I don't know if anybody listens to it, but he does. I just was trying to give somebody love that don't normally get love.
And Love Records would appreciate that.
Yeah,
I'm glad. I'm glad that it was not 90 minutes of Diddy singing. I'm glad that this was 90 minutes of orchestrated R&B and executive producing. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he was hands-on in many ways. And I'm glad it was not him singing. Now...
Loving you no more. I just can't keep loving you no more.
That's your jam?
I mean, it was a cool song. I liked it.
I dig it. Let's get to the album now. We've done all the prelude. Let's talk about the album. You start. What you think about the album?
I thought it was a good album.
90 minutes.
It was 90 minutes of music. I thought it was a good album. I thought it was solid. For me, love Jasmine Sullivan. Thought that song was great. I should pull up the track list because I haven't listened to it in a while. Came out a few weeks ago now.
Yes, it did. Actually, it's been about a month.
Yeah. I love me some Jasmine Sullivan. I love her. I love Coco Jones. I don't mean I love her, Jasmine Sullivan. I mean Her. I love her. I love Coco Jones. I love Mary J. Blige. I mean, that goes without saying.
I mean, I think it's safe to say we all like a lot of the people who were featured.
Right. I just want to call out, my standouts.
But are you shouting out the people or the records?
Both.
Got it.
Both. I mean, here's the thing.
Uh-oh.
No, it's not bad.
No, whenever you say here's the thing, some shit is coming. I don't know if it's good or bad, but something's coming.
I think for me, I didn't have a problem with most of it. I will say I don't really care for the song with The Weeknd. But other than that, I enjoyed the ride. Like, I don't know that it will be an album that I'll keep going back to. I think a couple of the songs I'll listen to, but I don't know if as a full album, I'll keep going back to it. I feel like people have been like really complimentary of it, and people have said, "Oh my gosh, there's no skips. It's great." And I think that this is something that will age well. I think over time, this could be something that if I listen to it again, maybe listen to it a couple more times, I can see myself going back to it a lot more. I just, I don't know. I kind of just, with this project, I just felt like I like what I like, and I can take away some of the songs that I like, and then the rest of it I can leave. I don't think that this is a reincarnation of R&B.
No.
I'm very traditional when it comes to the type of R&B that I like.
Baby, please.
Well, not just that, but
begging and crooning.
I love crooning. I love a little begging, you know, but I also love a lot of new stuff too. I don't want to, obviously I just said Jasmine Sullivan and her and Coco Jones, and those are people who are fairly new compared to the traditional stuff that I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
So it's not to say that I'm not interested. I'm very much interested in the R&B girlies today, and boys, but I don't know. Like, for me, maybe it's just too long of an album, and I, you know, feel more comfortable picking some songs out of it and sticking with those, and, you know, the rest of it, it's fine. Like, I could take it, I could leave it. I just don't think it's a bad album, but I also don't think it's like the most phenomenal album I've heard. Because I think that people are trying to make it sound like that, and that's fine. Like, if that's your takeaway, then that's great. I'm gonna be real honest with you. With music lately, like this year, last year, I don't even know when. I'm underwhelmed.
Okay.
I don't remember the last time I heard something that really wowed me. That I wanted to keep playing over and over and over again. And I feel like I'm more open to something new now and in the last few years than I've ever been before. So that's a little tough. It's not to say good music isn't out there and good music, and I haven't heard good music, and I'm saying that I like the Diddy album. I'm not saying I disliked it. I just feel like music's been okay.
Okay.
But a lot of it has been fairly underwhelming. I don't know if it's just, maybe it's just me, or maybe it is the music. Like, maybe it's just, I think times are different too. I just think that a lot of R&B had, I could understand his point in saying that R&B is dead. I don't think R&B is dead, but I do think some of it kind of lost its depth a little bit.
Okay.
But I disagree. I don't think that it's dead. I think that it's very much alive. I think that there are very much people out there who are making great R&B music. I think the last R&B album, or the last person that made me want to last two people maybe that made me want to keep listening to what they put out, was Jasmine Sullivan and Snow Allegra.
Okay.
I think outside of those two, and I love Ari Lennox. We could make a list, right? But their projects are the ones that I think that I've gone back to the most in the last few years when it comes to R&B. So I don't think that's saying a lot. I think they're great, and that is a lot. But I think in the grand scheme of things, I don't really think that's saying a lot.
Because a lot of albums have come out in the last couple of years. I got you.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I think as far as the album, it is a solid album. I don't think there's really much that says, ew, gross, turn this off.
Right.
Ooh, wow, why is this here? I don't think I get that feeling from a lot of the songs. I really don't get that from any of the songs. I know the Weeknd song that you mentioned, a lot of people are saying that's the one skip, if any. Obviously, those type of things go with preference. Yeah. I think, one, we have to give him props for being able to curate this album. It's a feat within itself.
Yeah, of course.
Number two, yes, I agree. It's a lot of music. today he probably would have benefited from making it 3 albums instead of 1.
Yeah.
90 minutes, you could have had part 1, 2, and 3 and been 30, 30, 30. But he didn't choose that. So I also want to say props to him again for putting out an album that's 90 minutes and doesn't suck.
It doesn't.
Because there's a lot of albums that people attempt to make that are long albums and they fall very short. This project does not fall short. Now, I do definitely agree. This is not the best shit since sliced bread. It's cool. But I reiterate, you set a really high bar with this quote-unquote resurrection. And so, no, I don't think that bar was met. And also, you didn't really say what it was. This was like a Jordan Peele movie. It was like, oh, this is horror. And then you went to the theaters and it wasn't horror. It was just suspense.
Right.
Even if it was good, it still wasn't what it was pitched as, in my opinion. I like the album. Good album. Smooth album. It's amazing that Diddy still today not only has the ear, but is able to work with all of these different egos and stars and divas and all of the things. And is able to not only know who should go where, but actually being able to make it happen.
Yeah.
Because we always hear that Diddy's not a nice guy and all these rumors, but clearly he's got enough relationships where every song has multiple features pretty much. And I think that clearly he still has enough relationships in good standing to be able to make this happen. That again, we have to, give him props for. My one thing that honestly, it was a lot of features. I have 2 critiques. One, I understand he wasn't singing, but this was a lot of fucking features. I don't think we needed this many. Some of those was like, did this person really need to be here? That's one. 2, all I could hear in my head as I got deeper and deeper into the album was Suge Knight's very famous speech. Y'all know the one. If you don't want your producers all in your videos, I ain't gotta finish it. But there were some amazing records that we did not need to hear Diddy saying shit in the beginning and the end of.
Let's work.
It just was like, shut up.
Diddy dirty money.
Let this beautiful music that you helped put together be beautiful music. We don't need, as the beautiful voices are fading, for you to be like, yeah, that's the shit I've been trying to tell y'all. As we get deeper and deeper in love. No, Diddy, just let it play.
I hear you. And
I'm trying to tell y'all what it's like when we off the grid. This why we need to be off. No, this why you need to be off the record.
I hear you. Yes, in a perfect world, that's how it would work. He would not be so present. However, he's no different than any other producer who makes it known that he's there. I was just talking about DJ Khaled a few minutes ago. He does the exact same thing. So I don't, while it might not be my favorite thing, I just kind of feel like it is what it is with that. He makes his presence known. He reminds you that it's his shit, and I don't know. I kind of just ignore it at this point.
It's hard. It's hard to ignore it when there's a great record. Listen, I'm not in love with every record, but the ones I am in love with, almost all of them, that's what's happening. As I'm like, man, this was great. This was beautiful. Yeah, as we just get deeper and deeper in love. Fam, let this beautiful art speak for itself. We are listening to your album. It says your name on every track. We know what you did. We don't need you to come and give us a fake storyline that really doesn't even tie together.
Yeah.
Because I still don't know why this was called Off the Grid. Do you?
No.
Case in point.
No, I don't know.
Solid album. Those are my only two critiques. Yes, I'm being nitpicky. Sue me.
Well, speaking of R&B, my segues have been trash lately.
Because we ain't pod in a minute. You know what I'm saying? When you go away for a while, you know, sometimes you gotta. It take a while to get the kinks out. You know, your dribble be man. I can't.
My segues have.
I can't really. You know, you start. You what used to be a splash when you shine. Now it's just rim. Bong.
Well, let's talk about my fave. My fave.
Chris Brown?
No.
I know it's a joke. Oh, Tory Lanez? I hope the dash cam caught that. That was too good.
My fave.
Trey Songz.
Please stop.
Okay. Go ahead. Tell him about Usher.
Usher will be headlining the 2024 Super Bowl halftime show. And two things. The first is on that same day, his new album will be released. I have it all saved in my Apple Music already, ready to go. When he drops either a new single or the album, I will have it downloaded and ready to go immediately. Okay? Because he is my fave. Also, after the Super Bowl, tickets for his world tour will go on sale.
Yep.
Can't wait. Cannot wait. Just thrilled, ecstatic, just over the moon, just ready and waiting for all of it. I want to see Usher in his glory. I think Usher is perfect for the Super Bowl halftime show. Yeah. I think he's going to give us a great show.
Yes.
Maybe he'll bring out some cool friends of his.
No.
I don't.
Oh, I don't want him to bring out friends.
Have they shown you the roster?
No, I'm saying I don't want him to bring out friends. Oh, you don't want him
to? No, I think he will. I think
if Rihanna can do a medley by herself, I think Usher is more than capable of doing the same.
Oh, let me be clear. Capability is not the question for me.
Oh, you just think that's what he's gonna do?
Yeah.
I don't think so, and I hope not. I would like to see Usher get all of the time, all 12 minutes or whatever it is. We don't need to see Usher or Diddy's and just whoever else. Just rollerblade and sing and dance. Do all of that. Just don't yawn on stage, Usher, okay?
Historically, people do bring out other artists.
I know.
It's actually more common for the headliner to bring out other artists than it is for them not to. So,
do you remember when there were multiple Michael Jacksons the one time?
No.
It was like Michael Jackson on a pillar. Wait, that's not Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson on a pillar.
Vaguely remember
Wait, that's
this.
not Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson on a pillar. Wait, that's not Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson on a pillar. That gotta be Michael Jackson. Explosion. Boom! He's on the Jumbotron.
Yeah. Vaguely remember that, but not totally.
Michael Jackson would say, "Have you seen my childhood?"
Right.
Never mind.
So, I'm excited. That's all I gotta say about this.
I'm happy for Usher.
I'm very excited.
I'm very happy for Usher. It's well deserved. It probably should have been happened. It's very exciting for everyone in the culture, even with the 700 confession ads. And I just hope Taylor Swift doesn't, fuck it up. Moving right along.
Yep.
White chicks. What?
Why? Why shouldn't we? What? I don't know why that's so funny, but it is.
Okay, so Nas and Hit Boy have released the final chapter Album number 6 in 2 years. I say it again. Album number 6 in 2 years. That's a lot of mother flipping music.
That's a lot of music.
And we said that a couple months ago when they dropped Magic 2.
Yeah.
I think, one, I am grateful as a hip hop fan, whether you're a Nas fan or not, to be able to see this marriage, if you will, between old school and new school. Hit Boy is someone who we know has done a lot of production for the people who are, dare I say, B-level today. But actually, he did a lot of A-level production. He's produced for Beyonce. He's produced for Jay-Z and Kanye. Mega stars. But he's often been aligned with the new school of hip-hop. And where Nas is, Illmatic, early 90s, old school. You stay over there, all you do is kick knowledge. That's how a lot of people have labeled him. A lot of people have said, Nas' problem is he cannot garnish mainstream success. He's always going to be that guy who's great, but not up there with the top tier in the mainstream. This run has completely changed that. Nas' album is not only mainstream, it is successful, it is bouncy. We hear Nas doing all the new flows and the sounds and with the young kids, as they say. We've heard it. Whether we liked it or not, it happened. And I think, one, we have to appreciate this 2-year run and really think about what these two gentlemen were able to accomplish. They did great things. And I think, which I already said last time, but I'm going to double down on, we got to put some respect on Nas' name. A lot of times people want to talk about Jay-Z's run. Well, Nas had a run.
And he's running again.
And now he's running again.
Yeah.
And many of his peers, they're nowhere to be found.
I did not know what you were. Because I heard the sound and then you started looking. I was so confused.
You know what I'm saying? But they're nowhere to be found.
Nowhere to be found, yeah.
And so I just think I'm curious to see what Nas does next, even though he really don't got to do shit else at this point. 2, I truly hope that Nas begins to get some of the credit that is well deserved and probably has not been acknowledged. And 3, man, I'm really happy for Hit Boy because I know that this has put him on everyone's radar where before he kind of may have not been.
Yeah.
And so that's it. I think Nas has been killing shit. It's been great. And I am very happy that we got this. As a hip-hop fan, I truly appreciate what we have received from this merger, this marriage, this huge collaborative effort. And I think we'll see them both go on to do great things. And I just hope that, I already said it, but I'm going to say it one last time. I hope people really start acknowledging the things that Nas has done and is doing for hip-hop.
Nas is great. Nas has been killing it. And yeah, I feel like, I don't think that anyone thinks otherwise, but I do think that his name sometimes gets lost when we're having certain conversations, and he deserves better than that. We even said here on this podcast, we were like, of all the episodes that we've titled after songs,
right,
we had never had one that was titled after a Nas song because he just wasn't coming up in our conversations as much. And, I think that's absolutely true. But yeah, he deserves all his flowers because he's been killing it and he's a great rapper, and, he should be respected as such for sure.
Yeah, and unlike the other moguls and 100 millionaires, he's still making great, relatable music.
Yeah, he is. He's done a great job with this series that he's been doing.
Both series.
Both series. So, good for him. Shout out to Nas.
Yes.
Shout out to Nas.
Yeah, and one more quick shout out. Outkast. Another
speaker box.
Yeah. Another another name. I know this is a group, but another name that often doesn't get the respect they deserve. There was even conversations recently of groups that are way better than Outkast. And I was like, wow, the slander is just crazy right now. And so I'm very happy to see, for those who don't know, that Outkast, quote unquote, last album, Speaker Box / Love Below, which is a double disc. It's a lot of music. It's a lot of great music. And now it is the #1 selling hip hop album of all time.
13 million records.
13 million. Not Eminem, not Drake, not Jay-Z, not Biggie, not Tupac, not Wu-Tang. I don't want no beef.
Outkast.
I'm just saying.
Yep.
Let's give them the props they deserve.
And look at Atlanta.
Hey, listen. We're going to talk about speeches. Outkast said, Andre 3000 said, yo, the South got something to say.
Yeah. Yeah. You said it all.
They said it all.
They said it all.
That's it.
13 million times.
13 million. Take that. Take that.
It always comes back to Diddy, huh?
Try not to.
But yeah, amazing feat.
Yep.
Especially in 2023 when we're not getting hip hop #1s.
Right.
So I think this is a good way to, go into fourth quarter because
go ahead, sorry.
It's great to have something to be excited about, even though it's not something new, and that's fine.
Right.
But it's tried and true. So,
that's a fact.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I think that's amazing.
Right.
Good for them.
And something that's not amazing
and really unfortunate is that Irish from 702 has passed away.
Yeah, it happened while we were away, and so we didn't get to come up here and give her some love, and so we wanted to make sure that we did that when we were back.
Really, really sad. She was
young
and just really unfortunate that she passed away. So I hope that her family and friends are able to heal from this. And it's just crazy. Like, it's always crazy, it's that weird, you don't know the person, but like
you feel connected.
You feel connected through the music. So
yeah,
really unfortunate thing, but just wanted to acknowledge that real quick.
Absolutely. Yeah, rest in peace to her. Condolences to her family. Yes. And speaking of family, we're going to transition into something we've never done here before. Your family.
Yeah, my family.
And so, if you know this podcast, we have a Drake consultant. Dash brother, Josh, is our Drake consultant. And so we're going to transition and do something we've never done before. It may look a little different. It may sound a little different. Just, bear with us. We're doing different stuff to try to give y'all a better, more entertaining experience. And so we're going to discuss Drake's new album, For All the Dogs, with our Drake correspondent.
Yep. Well,
it's time.
It has finally happened. Drake's album has finally been released.
Yep. Oh, these shouldn't be on.
I didn't believe it was coming out. I thought he was going to wait until his birthday week, honestly. which
That'd
is
have been cheesy.
which is at the end of the month, but he is cheesy, so But we have our
Drake correspondent.
here in the flesh, sort of.
What's going on? What's going on? Oh, it's
Balloon.
balloons?
That was
I didn't do
crazy.
that.
I didn't do
Me
that
either.
Okay, all right. Well,
Where's the balloons
that
come from?
I don't know, but that was a nice little fun intro with those balloons. Thank you.
It's
I
because you
feel really
clapped.
welcomed.
Maybe, I don't know.
I think it's because you clapped.
That's interesting. Yeah. Or maybe when I did this, no, I don't. That was weird.
That
But
was so weird.
I've never seen that before.
listen, I'll take. It's not flowers, but I'll take my balloons. I'll take my balloons. Yeah, I'll take my
your
balloons.
balloons.
Right.
Yeah,
Take your balloons.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, Drake's album is out. Have we all heard it?
yes,
I have heard it. I listened to it a few times since it's dropped, and
Same.
I got some thoughts.
I've listened to it about 1.3 times.
1.3. So that means
1.3.
one
Okay.
time and then one more song.
A couple songs.
You heard the J. Cole song twice? That's what it was?
I heard the J. Cole song twice. I heard the Bad
Okay.
Bunny song
you
twice.
You listened to that twice?
Yeah.
Why'd you do that to yourself?
I shouldn't have, but I did.
That was a bad idea.
And when the Sexy Red song came on, I actually played it again because I was trying to decide how I felt about it.
That's the song you need to replay. That's the song. Spoiler alert, I think that's probably the best song on the album. But
Really?
I think that's probably at least from a commercial perspective, I think that's the best song on the album.
Okay,
Interesting.
that I can see.
Yeah.
Because they're really, and I guess let's start.
Let's just jump into it.
To
Okay.
me, I want to start by giving Drake props. I'm going to hate myself for this later, but I got to be what Fox 5 used to say, fair and balanced. They never were. And that's my my little thing, but
Fair and balanced.
I make fun of Drake a lot for being a pop artist and not a rapper. And there's no pop songs on this album. So I gotta give him props for putting
Okay.
together a non-pop album.
Go Drake.
I mean, I gotta start with that because I always give him a hard time. I always come up here and say he's not a rapper, he's a pop star, and he didn't do the pop star stuff. So, there's no Hotline Bling.
I mean, I guess like then I have to ask you like, do you think Rich Baby Daddy's not a pop song? Because like I mean, maybe not the title of it is a pop song, but I don't know. I kind of feel like it's like a mix between like dance, but then I feel like if it like pop, it's an umbrella term for just popular, and I feel
Correct.
like I honestly I feel like that should have been the lead single, not Slime You Out, and I feel like that has a very 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 big chance of going far. I think that could be the song that might put him over with beating Michael Jackson if he pushes it enough. So I kind of look at that as a pop
it's
song.
the only song with mainstream appeal. So,
Yeah.
I mean, would I call it pop? No. It's a club
Okay.
record, sure, but I don't think
Yeah.
it's pop. I think Hotline Bling is pop. What was the left foot stomp, right foot, whatever?
Tootsie Slide.
Yeah, those are
Yeah.
the records, those type of records are the ones that he clearly makes for the pop audience.
Gotcha. I see where you're
I
going.
don't think there was any of those this time. I think this time it was something else, but it wasn't
I can see
pop.
that. Yeah.
Rich Baby Daddy is not for me, but
Well, we're just asking.
I get it.
We're just asking. Do you think it's pop? That's the first.
No, but I'm giving my opinion
Oh, okay.
of the thing, and I did play. I do recall when I played it back, I kind of did a little shimmy or something to it. So it's definitely something that's gonna make people dance.
Yeah.
And have a good
Absolutely.
time. It's something that can play in the club. It's something you can play in your car. So I understand the appeal of it. I just, for me, I was just like, I don't know that I'd listen to this again. But
Let me tell you. What was it? Friday when this dropped.
Uh-huh.
I wake up in the morning, about to go to the gym. I turn on Breakfast Club. I
So,
hear Charlemagne and Envy,
uh-huh.
and then I just hear this record, and I don't even know what it is yet. And I'm like, I haven't heard it before. It's probably from Drake's album. And I just, I'm hearing the beat go off and everything, and then of course, like Envy's doing it to, play around with Charlemagne, and of course, like I don't see it because it's on the radio, but I already know like Charlemagne's dancing to it, and I was already thinking like, all right, this is gonna be the thing that they're gonna push because just because of how much of how a good bop to it.
Mhm.
Like everybody's gonna play it on the radio. Like all the girls are playing it. My girlfriend didn't even know about it at first, and I started playing. She's like, "Yo, wait, Josh, what's that song?" I'm like, "Rich Baby Daddy." I got you right now. So I think it's gonna go far. I really do.
I agree with that.
Also, it's sexy red, so it's
I
gonna
was
go far.
waiting. I was like,
It's
God's
sexy
favorite
red,
girl.
So it's gonna go far. I think she's doing really well, and I think that Drake having her on the album, smart. It's similar to what he was doing with what was that song with the Kiki? Do you love me? And I think that was with
Yeah,
that had a little bit of City Girls on it.
yeah,
So in my feelings, yeah.
yeah.
So I think Drake knows what he's doing when he gets the girls. Like
He
he gets
does.
someone on his song, and just make a song, a clip song for all the women, and you got it.
He does. He does.
But he doesn't know what to do with SZA features.
I didn't mind this as a feature on Rich Baby Daddy though. Slime You Out. I like Slime You Out, but I don't think that was a really good pairing with both of them. I like SZA on Rich Baby Daddy, but I also feel like Rich Baby Daddy doesn't need to be a Drake song. Like I feel like that could be anybody else's. I feel like that could just be Sexy Red and SZA, and it was
Right.
fine. So I didn't really feel like the combination of Drake and SZA was good. If you mean it like that. But
I
like,
think I think on I think on Rich Baby Daddy, SZA didn't really add anything. I mean, it was
okay.
cool that she was there, but
Hmm.
the record was already the record. Now
Right, right.
I think on what is it, Slime
Slime
You
You Out.
Out?
Yeah,
I
Slime
think
You
on
Out.
Slime You Out, she makes the record.
I agree. I agree
Yeah,
with
I
that.
think if you take SZA off Slime You Out, it's a skip. I mean, for
Right.
me, it's a skip as soon as her verse ends. But
I do like I usually want to rush to the SZA feature on that song, and it's not that I hate Drake's verse on it, but yeah, I prefer just going straight to SZA's verse, and it's not even that long.
no, her verse is not that long. All
Yeah.
right, let's take a step back.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. No, no. Come
Well, I
on.
was gonna ask a question. I was gonna say, is there a song? Is there a standout on the album?
I
Uh,
Baby Daddy is one of them for
Okay.
sure. I think
yeah.
it's to me it stands out the most because it's the only mainstream record. One can
Right.
argue the not Daddy Yankee. What's his name?
Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny.
New Daddy Yankee. Sorry. Uh, Bad Bunny. One can argue that's a mainstream song, but it's really not.
First of all, I don't ever want to hear Drake rap in Spanish.
I didn't want to say it.
Uh, I mean, look, I know some people who like Bad Bunny. I'm not against Bad Bunny. It's just not for me.
Well,
It's just
Bad
not for
Bunny is
me.
the number one streamed artist in the world, period.
Right. So
So
this
it's
is
a
like,
smart feature, but it's
yeah,
also like a waste of a feature.
I would rather listen to Bad Bunny by himself than listen to Bad Bunny with Drake.
But it's just not. It was like Drake did whatever he did in the beginning. Then he actually did something to the
hmm
real beat. Then Bad
hmm
Bunny did something, and it ends. It's not even a full like. You would think if Josh is putting together an album and Josh says, "Hey, I got a Bad Bunny feature," you would think, "Oh, this is the big record.
Right.
This is the record we're
yeah,
pushing. This is the one that we're gonna try to break the streaming numbers with."
hmm
I mean,
Oh, that would make sense. I just I didn't care for it. I heard it. I said, what is this? And then I had to put two and two together. Like, oh, this must be the Bad Bunny song. So I stayed and I
yeah,
listened. And then I was like, no, no, because again, what Bad Bunny did was nothing different from what he normally does. So I feel like if you looking for Bad Bunny, you could just go directly to him. You don't need to find him through Drake. And then I don't know
right.
what Drake was saying, and I didn't care. I wasn't into it. I know he's trying things. Like I know he's experimenting. I don't think
Hmm.
he's done that before. Maybe he has,
No, he has.
or he
He
has.
has. There was a song with some guy who was big at the time, Romeo Santos. That was
Hey,
a that was a
hey, hey,
big
hey,
big thing.
hey! Watch your mouth, Josh. They will cancel you. You
Oh, did
cannot
I?
say that guy is big at that time.
Oh,
I
is he
don't
still
even
big?
listen to his. Listen,
Oh,
I'm just
all
trying to
right.
help you out, brother. I don't want them to cancel you.
I mean, yeah, no,
Romeo
I don't want to get canceled.
Santos is the Bad Bunny of his world.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
mean, look, I accept it. I'm not gonna deny it. I don't know anything about that world. I have a couple friends who like Bad Bunny. I'm gonna go to them and see if they even like this song. I don't know. Like this song for me is just like, okay, I see why you did it. Um, cool. Not for me. Like I don't even know if it's good or not. Like I have to go to somebody else who listens to Bad Bunny to really tell me like if this what they were waiting for. Were they waiting for a Drake and Bad Bunny to link up and make something like this? To me, I don't really know.
I don't listen to enough Bad Bunny. There's one Bad Bunny song that I really like, and that's it. And I heard it on vacation, and I don't know if
Mm,
people think it's good. I think I said that to you one day. I was like, I don't know if it's a good Bad Bunny song. I just know that I like it. So I am also
mm,
not the person who would be able to say this is good or this is not. I just knew that I didn't really care for that from Drake. Um, that's not why I showed up to the party. So
makes sense.
But wait, you didn't answer your own question. Was
is
there a
there a
standout?
standout?
I mean, none, I don't think any of us answered it actually. We just immediately
Um,
went to what should be the standout.
I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest with you. The only thing for me that was super memorable was the Sexy Red song. I mean, standout, I guess, is meant to be a positive thing.
Hmm.
But I will say that the other two things that I remember specifically are the interlude. I forget what it's called right now, but
Oh, BBL love.
is that what it's called? The one with If I Rule the World.
Oh, no. That one's a Screw the World. It's a chopped and screwed for I Run the World.
Yeah, I'm not really a chopped and screwed like I'm not really a chopped and screwed girly, and I know there's a section
Hmm.
of there's a region of the country that is really into that, so
Hmm.
maybe that's great for them. I wasn't really into it, and I kind of felt like it was a waste of that beat. Um, and then the other thing that stuck out to me was the final song. I was listening to it and I was doing other
Mm.
things, and I honestly did not know that this was the last song. But all I know is that I looked up at one point and was like, okay, he's whining, and I just was ready to turn it off, not realizing that it was the last song on the album.
Mm.
Um,
Okay.
I don't want to say that I didn't like the album because I feel like
Hmm.
that's the direction I'm going in
Hmm.
with all my takes.
Well, be careful because he might respond to you.
I'm not trying to say I didn't like the album. I thought it
Yeah.
was okay.
He might tell you you take first class flights on occasion.
Yeah,
No,
You can't be
no,
doing that.
special occasions.
and he's absolutely
Special
right.
occasion, yes.
He's absolutely right. I'm not on private jets. I'm not. I'm definitely not
You're not on the
flying
PJ.
first class. Yeah, no, that's not my life at all. At all. He can say whatever he wants about me because honestly, it's probably true. Yeah, I mean, it was an okay album, but those are the things that stuck out to me. There was one song that I can't remember that I do think I liked. I just can't remember it right now, which is honestly, I feel like this is the first time I've listened to a Drake album, or maybe not the first time. Maybe that's a little too aggressive.
Hmm.
But I feel like there was a time where I used to remember the songs that I heard from a Drake album. I feel like I could call it out, even though it was new. I feel like I could call it out and say, oh my gosh, did you hear Keep the
Hmm.
Family Close? Did you hear 5 a.m. and wherever? Because there's so many of them, I can't remember all the names. But
Hmm.
I
New
can't
York.
really, I didn't really feel that way with this. I kind of felt like it was like a standard Drake album. Like it was okay.
I feel you.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
What were the standouts for you?
Um, So I have takeaways, which that's a much longer list. I only have like 10 songs that I think I'm taking away from this album. So that's less than half of the album because it's about 23
Songs.
tracks on it. But the standout, I'm gonna give it to two. That's Rich Baby Daddy and First Person Shooter with Cole. That's an absolute standout. Absolute. And Cole murdered Drake on this album. Like that was it's
Yeah.
what Eminem did to Hove on Renegade. Like it's not even a contest. I think that particular song, I think it's probably well, I mean, I guess if you're gonna compare it to being like the most rapidy rap song, it's probably gonna be between First Person Shooter and 8 a.m. in Charlotte. But I still prefer First Person Shooter over that one, over the timestamp record, and that's mainly because Cole did his thing. I think Drake heard it after he got the verse back, and he was like, "Yo, let me go back and put this last verse on the end," and it still wasn't that good. I mean, I get you talking about you one song away from beating Michael, cool, but I just wasn't feeling the third verse. I think his first verse was a lot better. But again, like Cole did his thing. I wish that Drake and Kendrick weren't really having whatever tiff because Cole's talking about it's the big three. They talking about the big three, K Dot, Cole, and Aubrey. Like it should be that. It would have been a moment in hip hop to have Kendrick on
Yeah,
that same track.
yeah.
It would have been a huge moment.
I think
Like
that
that's something from like I grew up with them because what was it when I was in college, I think that's when they all started coming up. So like if I could have had that moment with all three of them, because I don't think they ever did that before,
No.
that would have been a nice moment. But whatever it is between Drake and Kendrick, they doing like these weird little shots back and forth. So it is what it is. But those are my two standouts: is First Person Shooter and Rich Baby Daddy.
Okay. For me, it's just the Cole record. And
Okay.
I'm going to call it what it is, a Cole record.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you ever heard American Dreamin', which is Jeezy featuring Cole and Kendrick.
Hmm.
But this was like part two of that record lyrically, and I'll
Hmm.
elaborate.
Okay.
On American Dreamin', Jeezy starts the record, and there's a hook.
Hmm.
And then Cole comes and does what Cole does, some long ass holy shit verse,
Hmm.
and then the hook comes, and then well, now you're excited because well, it's time for Kendrick to rap, right?
Hmm.
No, Kendrick doesn't rap. He sings like a bridge, and then the record
Hmm. Hmm.
ends. And
Okay.
that's what this was. Drake didn't show up on his song. It's Cole's song. Drake did
Yeah.
like a hook, and they say they were together in the studio. So
Yeah, I heard
that
that.
they mentioned that more than once on the song. They say they were together recording this song, making history, blah blah blah.
they were besties making music together.
Right. You know, he said me and Drake are the Spider-Man meme.
Yeah, yeah, that and
And
that's the thing. It
uh
would have been cool if Drake came out and actually, gave
attempted
something really
something.
nice. Yeah, but I feel like in that moment at least it wasn't deserved.
And that's my problem with the record. I wish this record didn't exist
Mm,
because we keep hearing the big three. Everyone keeps
mm,
saying it in podcasting, on TV. They all keep saying it in their rhymes.
mm,
Sometimes Wale and Meek are included, sometimes they're not. But it's usually these three guys. And everyone
mm.
says, hey, I'm number one. And every time we have two of them together, for some reason, one guy just doesn't want to show up anymore. And so, if Cole is number one, that's perfectly fine with me. But then we don't need this record.
I'm gonna disagree on that. I think this record is still I think this record is I don't know if I would say it's needed, but it felt good because I think what the last record they did together was In the Morning. I mean, that was a long time ago. That was
No, there's another one. It's on
oh, it's on
that
Dark Lane
project
Demo.
with all the stuff that was in the stash, all the
Yeah,
mixtape
Dark Lane Demo
stuff.
tapes.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, there was that one and that one was cool, but that was also like that entire project was just throwaways. It was Lucy's. Like I actually had a lot of those songs, like in the tuck. It was just a lot of leaked songs that he just put out.
Yep.
So I mean, yeah, we can count that, but I mean, I really enjoyed this one again, mostly because of Cole. I think that it was still good to just put something else on wax. Um, it's just to me, I think that it was a real missed opportunity to have Kendrick. Like like didn't Ross do the same thing? I think it was Ross, Hove, and somebody else. I think it was Three Kings. I think that was the name of the
Dr.
track.
Dre.
Yeah, and Dr. Dre. So like, I mean, I feel like this should have been another Three Kings. I feel like this should have been hell. They could have called this the Big Three, and that would have been fly.
Yeah,
But
Kendrick and Cole don't fuck with each other. I mean, excuse me. Kendrick and Drake don't fuck with each other.
yeah, no, they don't. No, they don't.
Yeah.
It's just again like that. That's just in my world of man. This would be super nice if they could do it. I'm sure Cole has tried to facilitate some talk somewhere. But I don't even think Drake acknowledged Kendrick in that same song. Like Cole said what he was
Drake
saying,
also
but
just didn't say much on the record, period.
that
Until
is
he
true.
changed the beat and the topic.
Yeah, that is true. And
Which
I
is
think
why
and I
I'm
think
like,
that was to like get bet. I think that was just him trying to make up for what Cole did. He was like, "Oh shit!" Like Cole's coming with something hot, and then he still did it. So
yeah. He's like, hey, 40, what else you got back there? Because
yeah,
now that Cole left, you got something else? Yeah.
no, I agree.
For me, that was the only standout. I say all the time, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it's always nice to hear J. Cole. It just,
I mean, listen,
Yeah,
it was the same as the verse on, what is it, Yachty's record?
yeah,
I mean,
he had a verse on Yachty's record. Cole has been killing shit. Like every time
yeah,
Cole steps on a track, he's just been killing it.
yeah,
I'm a big fan of Jermaine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, and so
yeah. Especially that Rolling Loud
in the rain.
In the rain. It was great. It was just great. It was phenomenal.
Oh,
I could watch that any day of the week. Just
I haven't seen it.
oh, you gotta
You
watch
gotta
it.
look that up.
You gotta watch it.
Let's look up J.
Okay.
Cole Rolling Loud. I think it was 2 years ago.
He performed in the rain. Just
Yeah.
it
As
just
as soon as he started performing, you just see rain coming down, and he's doing like a 30-minute set, 40-minute set.
It was great.
It just
Oh,
gets
shit.
heavier as he's performing.
It was great.
Wow.
It
Okay.
was amazing.
Cool. Yeah, no, I'll check it out.
Yeah, I'm never mad at him for
Body beats.
Yeah, I'm never mad at him for putting down a verse. And
Me either. I just feel like Cole's record shouldn't be the best song on your album. Like,
well, when you have
Yeah.
talented friends.
sure, but I feel like if I have an album coming out and I'm like, hey Josh, come bless this record, and I barely say anything on the record, it's Josh's record, and that's the best on my album.
Yeah, like let's meet each other with the same energy, that sort of thing. Like if you're gonna be at your highest point, then I should be there too. Like we should be able to meet each other at that same place.
Yeah, like what happens to Steve Sharp and Steel?
Like God did.
Like God did.
Oh God,
That-
yeah.
A good example of that,
Yes.
where like
Yeah.
everybody showed up. Everybody,
Yeah.
like you could tell that they were kind of throwing around, like we don't know whose verse went first, but we could tell that whoever went first, everybody followed suit. Like that was
Right.
that was very obvious there. So, or it could have just been a situation where it was like, oh wait, so Jay's gonna
Hov is gonna be on it.
or
Yeah.
Wayne is gonna be on this. Like, yeah. So, I mean,
And I think the other thing is, we don't get this Drake often. The Drake we expected when we saw Cole and Drake and pressed play. Whether you went directly to the record or it came on through the album, once you knew, hey, wait a minute, my ears hear J. Cole. Because this is what you hear as soon as the song comes on. And so once you hear, oh shit, J. Cole. Wait, this is Drake's album. Oh, this is about to be the flyest, lyrical, bar you to death, maybe even some Jada and Styles P back and forth shit ever.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't. And it's like, wait, what? Why not? And then,
I mean, when was the last time that Drake has really done that?
well, and that leads me to my next point, which is, and then you say, okay, maybe he was saving it for the timestamp. Maybe he was saving it for 8 a.m.
in Charlotte.
But he didn't. Because 8 a.m. in Charlotte is by far the weakest timestamp song of them all.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's not. It shouldn't even have a timestamp. No, I'm not. Listen, the beat is amazing. It's a great fucking beat. Probably one of the better beats from the timestamp songs, because the timestamp songs are infamous for being a very simple beat to highlight and focus on Drake's lyrical and flow performance.
Mm-hmm.
This was the opposite. This was a great fucking beat, and Drake just like, yeah, you know, when I went to Miami, you know, you ruined it. You threw the luggage around the room. When we were in Houston, you threw a fit. Nigga, what are you doing?
Yeah, nah, it wasn't. It wasn't. It's definitely one of the weakest because
I don't
usually,
know, but like, which one even comes close? Because, let me put my coffee down. They're all fire. So, if it's like, which one even comes, like, how do you measure?
I don't know
like,
because
this is
you're right.
automatically at the bottom.
No, you're right because usually, I mean, with timestamp songs, you're usually thinking, "Damn!" Like when you hear it, you're like, "Yo, I gotta hear this again. I gotta hear this again. I gotta hear
Come
this again."
on.
And you're usually putting it like at the top. This is more like it's not that I don't think it's horrible. Like I don't think it's a horrible song or a horrible like freestyle that he's doing on it. But it's definitely something where I'm like, like I kind of would want to hear somebody else on this beat. Like I want to hear the beat. Like I think the beat is really good, like you said.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to hear something different. I didn't really hear anything good.
It was just, maybe, correct me if I'm wrong. To me, it was just the same as every other track on the album.
No, I'm not gonna say that. That I'm not gonna say.
Go ahead, sorry.
That I'm not gonna say. I mean, like if you mean that as it's not as memorable, like it's not a memorable track, then maybe. But like if you're gonna say
I
like
mean
it,
subject matter.
oh yeah. The whole, I mean, the whole album is, I mean, it's just Drake talking. I mean, he's talking like hot shit, which I mean, I guess you could say he's always done. Like he's talking hot shit. He's talking about, him with women, all of his escapades and whatnot. And yeah, that's what he's doing. But I mean, Drake is not that kid, you know, imitating like if he's from Houston when he really isn't. And like he's not, it's not from the Thank Me Later era. He's not hungry like that. He's just talking about flying women out, talking about his love of BBLs. Like that's just what it is.
It's like he's
And honestly, I've accepted it. I've accepted it. Like I'm not out here getting upset about it. Like, some people have been getting upset about it. I just kind of feel like it is what it is. Like I don't expect a lot of this shit from Drake. Like I would want like greatness out of him, but he's kind of already showed me that he's not really, he doesn't really give a shit. Like he's coasting.
well. That's why I feel like I've outgrown Drake. I think that
Hmm.
I've grown, but he hasn't,
Hmm.
and that's fine.
Right.
That's it is what it is. I think I said when the last album dropped, I think I said on the podcast that I just feel like him and I are not on the same page anymore. And that's
Hmm.
okay. And I can appreciate music like that. I don't necessarily like to say that I'm not to, call Joe Budden's name. I'm not trying to say
Hmm.
that I think that I can't find interest or that can't resonate with me. I just feel like
Right.
with Drake, I'm not moved by any of it anymore. It's kind of just like, oh,
Right.
it happened. Oh, he made this. Okay, I'll listen, and I'll talk about it. But I really don't care. I don't think it's that I can't find interest in it. There's plenty of things. There's plenty of artists out there who make music that they're saying something completely different from what I understand or I am used to, and I'm still able to appreciate it. I just feel like something about, I don't know, it's weird. It's like even the reference that that people think is about Rihanna, I mean,
It's pretty clear it's about Rihanna.
I mean, but no one has said it was like Drake has not said that it was about Rihanna, so we've made an assumption that it is, and I think it's a strong assumption, right? But it's like okay, like I liked Hungry Drake. I liked the Drake that was actually like really trying to work for it, and you know,
And we're never gonna get that. I mean, I
no,
don't know if it's even really confirmed, but I mean, I'm pretty sure he's a billionaire at this point. Like he's just talking about he is talking about what he's going through, but the thing that he's going through is something that a lot of us can't compare to or relate to. You know,
yeah, it's
it's
like
like
his
he's a bachelor. That's it. That's really all he's talking about.
right, and it's like his sense of reality is very different from the average person at this point, and so I don't really know
Right.
what I'm supposed to get out of his music anymore.
Watch it. Like honestly, it's I'm getting the from this album, I'm getting the same amount of value I was getting out of Her Loss, which I really like Her Loss. Especially, I think part of the thing that drove my interest with Her Loss too was, 21. But even with this album, oh, and I actually technically Yachty, because Yachty really inspired Her Loss, and you can also tell some of the songs off of this that was from Yachty. I think Yachty has five credits on the album, and
Yeah.
I mean, like, what was one of the what would Pluto do? That's which weird. There's no future feature on that. But what would Pluto do? That's basically Jumbo Shit Poppin' version 2, and that was on Her Loss, and that was something that I think Yachty wrote or like he had a lot of his hands in. So
Mhm.
it's a lot of like it's a lot of new shit again, like with Joe hanging with the kids and whatnot. Like it's a lot of the new like fun stuff where he's just shit popping. He's talking hot shit, and that's just something where for me, I take and I like some of it.
Mhm.
Am I looking for this immaculate body of work, or am I looking for 444? Because honestly, I really think a lot of people are looking for Drake to do a 444, and I think that shit is dumb, and I think that's not really fair. I don't think that just because Hove came out with 444, you need to expect a 444 from everybody. Like that's just
And
not
that
not a
album
thing.
is overrated.
That's another conversation for another day. We could have that though. But like, yeah, I think for this album, I get like I have 10 favorite tracks that I'm taking away from this album, and I really do like them. And I can tell you right now, out of the 10, I'm not looking at all of them as like this big thing. The only two technically is 8 a.m. in Charlotte, and that's like and first person shooter. Everything else is just fun. Like that's all I'm getting from it. And I think that's okay. I think that part of the reason why people are even, getting on Drake for this is because people do hold Drake to a certain standard because we have seen what Drake can do. And I get you. It's just that I've kind of just let it go already. Like I'm not expecting that anymore. It's easier that way.
Well, oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, it's like I don't know. I was trying to think of an artist that I just, you know, don't really like what they're talking about. Doesn't mean anything to me. But
Future.
let's use let's use a white woman
Oh, okay.
because I feel like for me that's like very shocking. Like people hear like
Wait, T Swift? Are we going to T Swift route?
I was gonna say. Now,
Okay,
I haven't
Swifty.
listened to anything new that Taylor Swift has done, but at some point in life, maybe
Hmm.
about a decade ago, I was very
Hmm.
much like a pop girly. I didn't listen to all. I've never listened to a Taylor Swift album. I have
Right,
never listened to a full Lady Gaga album or whatever, but
right.
I knew all of their singles. I
Hmm.
used to
Hmm.
make playlists with just the white girls and I would listen to their stuff. I don't really do that now.
Right.
Even though I will be going to see the Taylor Swift movie, the concert movie.
Really?
I have to
Oh.
take Gabby. No one else wants to go.
Okay. So I hope you then like to balance it out, you take it to the Beyonce
Yeah,
movie
definitely
documentary.
going to
Okay.
see
All
Beyonce.
right, cool. Just a little bit of balance.
Right. I'm going vibing to Taylor Swift more because of Gab, not because of me. But because I'd never listened to the new album, so I don't know what value I'm getting out of it. But I bring them up too, and I bring her up to say, I don't identify with Taylor Swift in any way. Like, there's me and her are not the same. Like, we don't have anything in common as far as I know. But you know, bops. If it's a bop, then fine. Why not?
Right.
I can have fun and I can appreciate the fun, the spirit of the record, and you know, move on with life. But so I feel like that's a good example, just because it is that far-fetched for me to care about what any of those girls are doing. But that's one of I would say she's one of the ones where it's like, oh, okay, well, if I hear it, I'm not going to turn it off. It's not going to bother me. Like, you know, I might even dance. I might even give it a little shimmy or something. I also figured out while we were sitting here talking why there were balloons. It's because I mentioned Drake's birthday.
Nope.
It was birthday. It was definitely birthday.
Happy birthday. No, nothing. Okay, I don't know.
But it was that, because that's what
I mean, I believe you. You know, Tech likes to make people look like liars. It's okay.
Yeah, maybe
It sure
made
does.
me look like a liar. But that was why. That was why. I realized it as we were sitting here that that's exactly why the balloons happened. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a bunch of other artists that I could think of, but that's the one that stands out. It's like I don't. We don't like the same type of men. We're not the same age. Like, there's a whole long list of like different things that I could say, but I can appreciate the music. So I understand the appeal of Drake. I also think that you made a point that stood out to me before, where you said, you know, you grew up with them, right? Like him and Kendrick and whatever. So I think we find ourselves in those moments where we're like, okay, this is an artist that I kind of grew with to a certain point, and I know what they can do versus what they're doing now, and so you're still able to appreciate them.
Yeah.
I've kind of just thrown my hands up when it comes to Drake, honestly, and I'm just like, I just don't. I think maybe you know, he's just not it for me anymore. But
He's just not the same. He's not the same guy, and I also think that it's okay. You know, it is what it is.
I don't think it's okay, because he and his best buddy J. Cole keep on saying that he's number one in rap. You cannot be number one in rap phoning it in for however many years. And that's my beef. He has made mediocrity okay. He has made it very clear for quite some time that he has zero interest in putting his best efforts forward. And a Drake fan just said that to us. And that is the problem. No one else in hip-hop history who says, I'm number one, and who says people need to recognize me as the GOAT, has ever done that and been able to get away with it. Not Biggie, not Pac, not Nas, not Jay.
Nah, they put out mediocre stuff. That's not true.
And they were called out for it. When they were saying, but that's what I'm saying. Drake continues to say, I'm number one, while putting out mediocre shit. The other people, when they start putting out mediocre shit and they were called out on it, it was like, oh, niggas is calling me out. I'm gonna have to get my shit together. Let me get my shit together. But 5 albums later,
you think Drake doesn't realize that he's mediocre?
That is my point. Drake does realize he's mediocre.
You think he realizes?
Drake is purposely mediocre.
You think he's doing this on purpose?
Yes, because we have heard from Comeback Season to Overly Dedicated to all of these other things from when Drake first came out, that Drake is a capable lyricist, a person who can switch flows on demand, a person who is a great songwriter. We know that Drake is very capable. And that's why I say I'm not the biggest fan. Because to say, hey, it's like saying, hey, we know when Christopher Nolan puts out a film, he's capable of directing an amazing film. But instead of doing that, he gives us 10 Tenets in a row. Why the fuck would we keep watching Tenet 10 times in a row? We wouldn't. We would say Christopher
Well,
Nolan needs to stop making films, and this is some bullshit we're boycotting. But Drake doesn't get that treatment. When Jay dissed Nas and said, Nas, you've been putting out mediocre shit, guess what Nas did after that? He said, oh, okay. That's what people, that's what's
I
happening,
mean,
putting out mediocre shit. Okay,
what I would say is
let me
a
fix
different
that.
rule, different time, different rules, and I'm not saying that I like it. I'm just saying that I accept that that's just what it is. We might want more from Drake. We might want that, but it's different time, different rules, and not for nothing. We also have to be like when we talk about when we have the GOAT conversation, what are we talking about here? Are we just talking about like rap skills and like in the the type of content that they're putting out? Because if we're gonna have the GOAT conversation or like in rap, I mean, there's always gonna be the argument for Drake, and because we're not in the days anymore where like we're just talking about you having lyrical miracle, all that. Like we're not talking
Oh
about that
no.
anymore. It's not just that. So I think that there is even an argument to make that, yeah, look, Drake can shit on a track and then and it'll just do numbers. Like he is one of the goats because of that reason.
But
I'm not saying I like it. Say that again.
that's just labels and money.
Well, no. But see, when you say label, okay, hold on. Here's the thing. Drake can shit on a track and it's still gonna do numbers because he knows what people like. He knows what's popping, and he also has a team around him and people around him to help facilitate that. Yachty being around him is it's facilitating all of that. He always gets everybody who knows what they're doing. Like what? Every single album he has a new sound, and it's usually done by somebody who's popping. Take Care was what? The Weekend. Nothing Was the Same was Magic Jordan with Hold On. I think it's Hold On, We're Going Home. He got the dude who got beat up by Meek's Camp to do If You're Reading This Is Too Late. Like he gets all of these different people. Oh, and also there's always a Party Next Door feature, which I want to say that Party Next Door feature was really good. It's my guy. So like
I
he always
I
it's
did like that
listen,
one.
it's members only has cringe bars, but Party Next Door is just like it's a chef's kiss. But look, I'm just saying that with Drake, he knows what people want. He knows what the kids want. He's not gonna give it to everybody doesn't want the same thing. So not everybody's gonna be happy, especially old niggas. It's just not gonna happen. Especially old niggas. They're not gonna want that, and it's okay. It's fine to let it go. Personally, me, I'm popping a jumbo shit popping. I like that track. I'm still like I can still do that. And at the same time, I also like the hard going tracks whenever he actually can go hard on a track. I like what was it 4 p.m. in Calabasas. Again, I like First Person Shooter. I think he could have done better on it, but I'm not expecting all of that rapidy rap ass shit from Drake because it's just not what it is. And I think you can still have the conversation about him being a goat. Again, two different conversations if we want to talk about who's the better rapper and who puts out better rap shit. But I think like overall, like he knows what he's doing with all of it. And I also don't think it's fair when we do that. But like I feel like we take everything into consideration when we talk about Hove. Because with Hove, we are absolutely talking about everything. We're talking about money, we're talking about business, we're talking about everything. But we pick and choose when it comes to other people. And I do think that Drake is one of them, where I don't even want to be defending him, but I really do feel like people pick and choose about if you're the GOAT and we're going to include this, but not with Drake, we can only talk about this.
No, no. Okay, as a failed rapper, I think as a failed
Damn,
rapper,
failed? Yeah, that's, I mean,
I'm a failed rapper. As a failed rapper and a failed podcaster, no, I'm just kidding. I think that the GOAT conversation is all encompassing of music, not your business, not your money. That shit has nothing to do with music. The GOAT
okay.
in any music category, pop, rock, R&B, rap, whatever category you want, it cannot just be lyrics. It cannot just be that you can dance. It's like you said, it's all encompassing. And
Right. Gotta
so,
make good songs.
yes, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's all encompassing. So, but it's everything that has to do with music. And to me, I say this up here a lot. I think the best artists are balanced. Period. No matter who they are. Again, rock, pop, R&B, whatever, right? Like if you're an R&B artist but all you sing is sad songs, you can't be the GOAT because you just do sad. You might be the GOAT at sad, you know?
Yeah.
Like to me, Styles P is the best gangster rapper ever. To me, nobody can hold a candle to Styles P. But when I say Styles P is the best hip hop artist ever, hell no. He does gangster rap.
Right.
Now, and that's what I'm saying. Now, if we said Drake is the best hip hop artist ever, that's the conversation he is having, his peers are having, the culture is having. Well, then we have to count all of the things that he does. No, not business. Business should not be a part of it, but songwriting, flow, lyrics, discography, all of these things. That's how it is across the board. A lot of people say like NBA 2K or Madden, right? Those attributes that come up on the screen, speed, ball control, whatever, it's going to change by sport. And so it should change by musical category as well. Like we can't have the same stuff for Mary J. Blige as Jay-Z, right? Mary J. Blige needs vocal range. Jay-Z doesn't need vocal range. Jay-Z needs flow, Mary J. Blige doesn't need flow. So, what I'm saying is, that's kind of how I think it has to go, right? Okay. I don't give a fuck about your accolades. Outkast just hit 13 million records, most hip hop sales ever on one album, but a lot of people don't even have them in the conversation, which is a different conversation for a different time. But my point is, that chart, if you will, that's what has to be compared for everyone, right? And that's, to me, what separates the true greats from everyone else. Because the true greats, they have everything, or close to everything. And I'm not saying 100 in everything. That's not what I'm saying. But, okay, they've got 70s and 80s and 90s and 100s, where everyone else, they don't really got all of those categories. Again, with a Styles P's gangster rap ability is on 100. Drake's might be at 2, but they're still in 2 very different categories and levels in the tier. And so that's what I think. And I agree it should be fair. So I agree people do like to choose, and I always say that's a problem. What is the requirement? We have to use that requirement for everyone. And it's the same thing with the top 5. Oh, let's have a top 5 argument. Okay, wait. What are the requirements we're going by?
Right.
Then we can have the conversation. And so I think Drake is saying, I'm the greatest hip-hop artist of all time. Well, there's a lot of hip-hop artists. And so if you're going to keep saying that, and if your peers are going to keep saying, hey, we're number one right now, okay, cool. But then we have to be able to compare bar for bar. And I don't mean lyrical bar. I mean those attributes. We have to be able to compare songwriting ability, flow, all these different things. Your entire discography. That's what we have to be able to compare bar for bar, in my opinion.
I agree. Now go on, D.
Agree. I was just going to say that Drake reminds me of...
A girl you used to?
No. Well, Drake reminds me of... when you watch...
the barrettes. I thought maybe
Listen, them damn hair clips that he got going on.
Yo, he's actually stealing Smino's, there's an artist named Smino. He's stealing his whole entire look. Like, Smino has been doing the hair, like basically like the pigtails, like that with the long fro and everything. Yeah, that was Smino's whole look. Like, if you Google Smino, you'll see.
Attributes, Drake's thievery bar is at 100.
Oh, listen.
Oh, absolutely. That's not even like he can teach a master class on how to like adopt or be like a real life like Pokemon Ditto and just
Yeah.
transform into anybody.
And listen, don't feel bad. Jay-Z's is at like 95.
Yeah, yeah,
Jay-Z
no, all of them,
morphed into many people over the
Yeah.
years.
absolutely.
But no, I was just gonna say, in my mind, as I'm trying to process this information, it makes me think about like when you have your favorite TV show. Like, let's say there's a random TV show. First season was great. Like, just nothing was wrong with it. It was exciting. It was all of the things that you require. You get to the season finale and you can't wait for the next season to come. And then the next season comes, and the next season is great too, and you're really excited and you're super thrilled and you want to keep going. And then season 3 or season 4 comes along and you're like, this got weird. I feel like that's Drake. I feel like we had like this run with him, and we got all excited and we got riled up, and then we got to a point where it was like things got weird. Like it's almost like when the writers don't know what to write anymore, or like, you know, Drake just kind of got to this point where he had to reconfigure or had to, like, I don't know, find himself.
Somebody said that Drake's writers were also on strike as well at the making of this album. That's why it's a little bit, you know.
No, that was good. I like your TV show comparison. My question to both of you is this. If you're watching a show, same example, the first 2-3 seasons are fire, but the next 5 are not. Do you still keep watching that show? No.
Me, personally, yes.
It depends. It depends. If I've been with a show for a long time, I'm probably gonna like just stick to it. Or even if I'm not like dedicated to it, I'm gonna check in once in a while to see, okay, is there anything here that's going on? All right. But
and then my follow-up question is, would you dare ever say this is the best show ever?
I mean, no. But
I don't think that's the same thing. I don't think you can use that as like I can say at one point in time yes, and if it kept up with the same quality, but I also think that
it hasn't. We've already established it hasn't kept the same quality.
It hasn't, but I also think that there's still, like you said, there's different meters that you would use to judge it, and I think that in music, especially hip hop, I think you can dip in quality and you can still have the argument for being the GOAT. I honestly do think so. I'm not even saying he is the GOAT. I just think that you can make an argument of, like, I definitely think that you can make an argument about Drake being the GOAT.
I hear you. I disagree, but that's okay.
Who is the greatest rapper of all time?
What are the requirements? That's the question. That's where we got to start. That's the base. What are the requirements?
I hate that conversation, honestly.
I didn't expect anybody to answer.
I always do that on purpose because
I know that nobody likes to answer that question.
It's too hard. It's just too much shit to it would have to basically be a podcast, like a podcast episode just on that. Like we would have to go in the lab and
in itself. Like I think that's a whole podcast that it just examines like what makes them great and like how.
Yeah.
Let me not give people my ideas, but I think that's really smart. I don't know. I can't answer the question myself, but
a lot of people like to use the things that their favorite artist is good at. And so, for example, someone will know, I'm going to use an example. Someone will say, well, Eminem is the greatest ever because he's got all the highest record sales. And so that's an argument, sure. But you know who's saying that? The guy who loves Eminem. That's who's saying that. When Jay-Z was the favorite, a lot of people are like, oh, but you know the Annie record, everybody knows it. It sold 5 mil. Did your favorite artist sell 5 mil? It's because you're a Jay-Z fan who's saying that. Same thing. Tupac went diamond with All Eyes on Me. What do Tupac fans say? Hey, we went diamond. Did your artist go diamond? When the record sales thing is all we rely on, well, then everything else goes away, and I think that's stupid. And then that's another conversation. It's like saying the greatest person in basketball is just the person with the most rings. Well, then really the guy who's the best, you don't even probably know his name. He's not really in
Yeah,
the debates because Robert Ory has 8 rings and nobody mentions Robert Ory.
Right.
no, that's true.
So
I I just
that's why
think
I
that
always say, what are the requirements? Because once we have a base, then we can
yeah,
have an actual intellectual conversation. Whatever it is, if the three of us say, hey, we're going to go by record sales, charisma, and album covers, that's weird as fuck, but okay, now we can start the conversation.
Yeah.
yeah. No, I
Well.
agree. I I
Oh.
mean, I do think that. No, I was just gonna say. I mean, I I don't even. I would have to look at. I have to look at it to see what's my top five. I always feel like talking about your top five is always the best because it's just there's so many different criteria that anybody could put to it. It's hard to make an objective top five.
Agreed.
But I don't even know if Drake. I mean, maybe Drake is in my top five. I don't even know. I don't. I would have to really go over that. Kendrick is definitely in my top five personally, but like Drake, I don't know. Maybe.
Quick question before we wrap. What's your
Mm.
favorite Drake album? I don't think we know.
Uh, it's so it's definitely. Actually, I really don't know. It's between Take Care and If You're Reading This,
Okay.
but over the years, I think Views have gotten so much better to me. Like I felt Views was very meh when it was coming out. Like it was super hype. And then Views, again, just like what Dion said, the opener, Keep the Family Close, that shit is immaculate. Just like even the production on it, that shit is immaculate. Um, the
I love.
sample, I think it was Fire and Desire on it. Great song.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that sampled I think sampled Brandy. He also sampled Ray J as well with I forgot what it was. Like that Views is creeping in there. So I feel like over time Views has been getting into like top 3 Drake album. But I think Take Care because again, we're talking about like college days for me and I think that that is just an inherent bias that I have. So for Take Care, that era just like early 20s. Yeah, Take Care is definitely like my top Drake album.
Okay. I was just curious because we've had you on here a bunch of times, but we've never asked you that.
Oh yeah, I mean like look, I'll say this about Drake. Drake was like my my interest in Drake has gone up and down over years. Like it's definitely fluctuated. I think like Summer 16 was probably the most hype and probably the number one time I was really into Drake. I thought like he was the GOAT.
That's when I
Say that
saw.
again?
I think that's the general consensus.
Yeah. I mean, that was when he was like, that was real big shit popping. That was when, he basically went against Meek, talking Summer 16, Summer 16. I remember I had tickets, I had VIP tickets to go to that concert with Future. But I couldn't go for some reasons I won't get into today. But like it was that was a hell of a time. And I think again, Drake does a lot of corny shit. He does a lot of corny shit that I'm just roll my eyes at. I do think that he was coming at Rihanna a couple times, especially because I think there's a bar somewhere where he was like, "I am pretty Flacco. This shit really gets rocky," or so. I forgot what song he said that on.
I mean, there's
I think it
also like
was
7 anti lines in a row.
right. And when I first heard anti, I was like, he's like, "Yeah, I'm anti. I'm anti." I'm like, okay, maybe he was talking about Rihanna, and because of that one I am pretty Flacco. This shit gets really rocky. I'm pretty sure he was talking about Rihanna. But I feel like stuff like that is corny. I feel like the comments that he was making about Meg, corny. Like I think he does a lot of corny shit, and I think he's okay with that because at the end of the day, women are going to be the number one thing that protects Drake. Women will always protect Drake. I mean, like
Yeah.
what he did with Sexy Red, putting her on tour, putting her on the album, Kikiing with SZA, that type of shit will always protect Drake. It doesn't matter what bullshit he does because the women will keep him up. It doesn't matter if he makes a song for all the dogs, for dogging out women. It doesn't matter because
Yeah.
women love Drake, girls love Drake, and I think that's the number one thing keeping him alive, honestly. And then again, like he'll have his rapidy rap songs sometimes, and have his um more like new school shit that that he's getting influenced by Yachty. Um, but at the moment, for me, Drake is he's cool. Like I'm not like looking at him as the biggest and best person. He's cool. I get what I need, and I'm good.
Got it.
I dig that. I dig that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Josh. Anything else before we say bye-bye?
No, I just want to say that, I was one of the people who liked Views from the beginning. I know a lot of people didn't.
That's true.
But
That's true. I remember that.
I always loved Views. I always thought it was great. And yes, Keep the Family Close.
I don't even know what that is.
When that beat drops, I'll play it after.
It's a really, I mean, you got to play that even with headphones, because it's the production on Keep the Family Close is really, really good. It's weird because I think when he dropped If You're Reading This Is Too Late, everybody's like, oh shit, like this is what Drake's doing. Like he's really rapping, he's coming with these flows, and Views is definitely different from that. And I think also him coming off the Meek beef, people were expecting something in particular, and it was definitely different. But I still think that Views aged good. There's still some songs that's a little bit like pop style,
I mean,
and a couple other songs, but that wasn't that good. But I think as a whole, that album definitely aged gracefully.
yeah.
But Rihanna definitely gave him the worst version, because that was around the time when Work came out, and he got I'm Too Good for You. That's all. Too good.
Yeah.
And I don't think that was that good. I mean, it does what it needs to do, but
yeah. I mean, it did what it needed to do. It did.
yeah,
It played on the radio and all of that. So
absolutely.
well, I think that's all I have about Drake. I'm about Draked out at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I could and also we didn't even mention that he did say he's gonna take a break from music for a while.
Right. He did. He's gonna take
He's got to deal with that stomach,
Yeah, whatever was oh yeah, I mean
Got some kind of stomach issue. Dr. Miami.
maybe it's from yeah, I was about to say maybe it's from his tummy tuck. I don't know. It could be that.
See, he knows.
I didn't really know much about the tummy tuck.
She didn't know, but
Yeah.
I told her one day Drake just showed up with a 6-pack, and everybody was like, "Hey, where does 6-pack come from?"
I mean that plus you usually know if somebody had some surgery when you look at their belly button, and some of those pictures of his belly button, that shit was looking kind of weird, like it was off to the side or something, like leaning. But
You see, the Drake fans know.
Listen,
I was telling her that when that announcement was made, I'm like immediately, because she told me before I even heard about it. And Dee was like, oh, yeah, and Drake's taking a break. I was like, oh, that's good. She's like, yeah, because his stomach is sick or something. I was like, oh, probably from the fake abs.
possibly.
And she was like, what are you talking about? What fake abs?
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't
I
know?
think he might have got it etched in a little bit. I don't know. And I've actually seen ain't nobody who I'm gonna like mention on here because they're nobody, but like I've seen this person on the internet who actually did that shit for real. Like I think he went super hard with it, and you could do that. You could actually surgically do it in a way where like they take the fat out, but then they etch your skin so it look like you have abs. So that's the thing.
that's troubling.
And then you got to take a year off from music. You know what I mean?
That's
So don't.
Yeah, I hope he takes a good long time off, because people do say like he's pretty good for even having this much like for putting out this much music rapidly, and I do think that that's also should be considered in the conversation of him being being as consistent as he's been. Not saying it's been perfect, but being that consistent over time.
No, his output is definitely strong. There's no doubt about that.
Right. Right.
He's been extremely consistent for 15 years. That I have no problem. Listen, I'm a harsh critic, but I also keep it real. Like,
right.
if you suck,
I hear you.
You suck. But if you did some fly shit, hey, you did some fly shit. I can't, As a failed rapper, all I got is,
I do appreciate, you guys having me on. It's been real talking about Drizzy.
Anytime. We appreciate you being our Drake and Sexy Red correspondent.
and I really
I'm for the Sexy Red supremacy. I'm for the Sexy Red movement.
I see.
Even
We
though,
know.
like, you know,
That's
she
why
she
you are
needs to make.
sexy red
I
course.
do think she needs to make a little bit better decisions now that she's you know, she's turning into a really big star. But yeah,
I don't know
she,
what the Instagram you're talking about.
uh, you know,
Right.
I mean, yeah, but yeah, no, I really do appreciate it. And again, you know, we should do this again some other time.
We'll see you next Drake album.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to talk to y'all again, but hopefully the next Drake album is not that close. I need some time. Like let me miss some
You and
Drake,
him
you
both.
know? Yeah, yeah.
But Josh,
All
always a
right,
pleasure. Thank you again. Oh, tell
for
them where to
real.
follow you, man.
Oh, damn, I don't really do the social media
All right, then
promotion
forget
stuff
it.
like that.
Never mind.
All right,
Petty
nah, so
boy.
just follow me on Instagram, follow me on More of Josh. You can find me there, and then also you can possibly maybe find me on Twitter, where you know Twitter is a whole nother thing, or
X.
X. You know, More of
Oh,
Josh. Could
Dash
be.
says hold on.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Holding.
Right,
But
holding.
yeah, you can find me there. That's pretty much where I just I mostly just post stories. I don't really be posting the real posts. Or
You
sometimes you might find me doing uh cute joint posts with my girlfriend who does social media and possibly our future dog. So
holler.
Adios, muchachos.
Yo, that would be the funniest ending. Should we do that? All right, that's it. It's a wrap. Thank you for being here. See y'all next time.